Well, hello everybody and welcome to the Formula One Manager game. I'm going to be streaming with Alpine and we're going to be trying to do this challenge using only Alpine Juniors. So welcome along everybody. We're also I'm also going to be semi-watching practice for Belgium as well. I've got it behind you there on the TV. Liam Lawson currently in the Alpha Tauri. So get your predictions in for this weekend. It looks like Charles Leclerc is going to be taking a grid drop with a new hybrid package for the Ferrari power unit. I mean, short of predictions for the race weekend, how many laps will he do before it blows up? That's what seems to be the case with the Ferrari powertrains this season. It tends to self-combust. And doesn't seem that Charles can get much luck there. So we're going to be diving into the F1 Manager game, which is here. I'm going to turn up the master volume because I haven't quite mastered this whole Twitch game yet. I'm conscious as well of the reverb coming from the TV because just before I went live, the headphones that I plug into the TV decided to not do anything. So that was excellent. A couple of notes before we kick off. Thank you to Osmos for following. So welcome along to, I believe that is my friend Owen Medford from the Grid Talk podcast. So let's dive in to some F1 Manager with Alpine. You can see in the background. So yeah, here we go. I do have an autosave found, but that's with Mercedes. So let's go. Let's dive on in to the F1 Manager game. And I love this opening sequence. It's really, really excellent. And of course, I'm fairly new to this sort of streaming gig, so let me know if the sounds are too loud, if my voice isn't loud enough, and I will do my best to adjust that on the fly on the screen. And we'll see how we go. So let's go through all the drivers. Spa, Eau Rouge. Don't worry, I won't be smashing any headsets Toto Wolff style. Although I do have a desk which I can thump fairly firmly should I ever need to. Alright, let's skip the end of that and let's choose our team. So we're going to be taking charge of Alpine. So the aim of this is hopefully, wow, Fernando Alonso's hair. The aim of this is hopefully to win the World Championship within, say, 5 seasons with Alpine, because all these teams are always on about a 5-year plan, a 5-year timeline. Aston Martin are one of those as well that have gone for a 5-year timeline. So the goal is to win the championship in 5 seasons, and if we can, skew the rules and nail them, then we can give ourselves every chance to do that. But otherwise, it's just going to be develop the car and see if we can win. But I'm going to make it a little bit more tricky for myself, which could be, the making of this series perhaps. But I'm going to only use Alpine contracted drivers, so that would be drivers from their academy, which at the moment is Jack Doohan and Ollie Caldwell in Formula 2, and Victor Martins and Caio Collet in Formula 3. So they're the 4 drivers immediately available to us. And of course, we do have Oscar Piastri available to us as a reserve driver here. So we could legitimately use Oscar, I suppose, but if he gets confirmed as a McLaren driver at some point in the not too distant future, then he will actually not be eligible for this, unless you want to allow me an exception to that rule, and Oscar can be used in this save. But we've got Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon to start. We are what's our objective? 4th. So of course Alpine in the fight for 4th in real life with McLaren, long-term objective constructors champion, so that's good. We've got to develop the facilities a little bit, and we've got a starting budget of high. So let's go. My first name is not Team. My first name is Aaron. Let's just put my name in there. I'm going to turn the guidance off because it was helpful actually with the little save I was doing with Mercedes to sort of get to grips with it. But I feel like I'll just learn as I go along. So let's just check settings, display. How are we going to display this graphics? Let's go with high to start with and see what happens. We're turning off Crofty. As much as I like Karun, I've turned him off as well. Let's go. Details cannot be edited later. No problem. Yeah, Piastri is still available technically because he is an Alpine driver, Owen. And yeah, the Contract Recognition Board, they're meeting next week, I think, to discuss his fate. But, well, the precedent is, I suppose, and Otmar Safnauer will testify to this because he was involved in it, was Jenson Button back in 2004, I think it was, where he decided he wanted to go back to Williams, and then the CRB stepped in and actually enforced the contract he had with BAR, which then became Honda and has now become Mercedes. And of course he went on to win a world championship with them as Brawn. So yeah, I suppose it's all done on an individual basis, and we'll see what comes up from it. So Audrey Mensah, this is my inbox. Yep, I know that. Okay, so we'll be heading to Bahrain. Let's see our car. So if I press E, we can have a look at our speed ranks. We're looking okay, and it's actually quite helpful. It gives you the little thumbs up for what's needed for each circuit. Very helpful. So what I did with Mercedes was just go in for it and see where we ended up in the first race. And I think that's probably a sensible way to go, because then we can get an understanding of quite where we are in the pecking order in the opening couple of races, and then we can start looking to develop the car further on. Let's have a look at our drivers. Alonso has only got 10 months remaining on his contract. Ocon 3 years. Piastri 10 months. Piastri is rated 75. So we're going to immediately start scouting. Let's find Formula 2. Jack Doohan. Detailed scouting. Let's do that. It's going to take 30 days to scout Jack Doohan of Virtuosi Racing, of course, son of Mick Doohan, and we will also scout Ollie Caldwell. Just do a standard one for him. So that's how we're going to begin. Our budget is 37 million. We could upgrade the facilities, I believe, if we do the... Which one is it? There's the one... no. Tour Centre, that's interesting. Race Simulator, it improves... it allows drivers to sharpen their skills when not on the circuit. So, I mean, Alonso's getting on a bit, so he might need a little bit more maintenance than, let's say, Ocon, because he's a bit younger. I wonder if Jensen would be glad the CRB decided all those years ago. Yeah, I think he would now agree, looking back, that he was possibly being a little bit foolish. But this is, of course, the world of Formula One. Let's be honest. Contracts aren't worth the paper they're written on or printed on nowadays, or the emails that they're sent in, considering it's all probably done by WhatsApp now. So let's upgrade the race simulator, spend some of that $, and then we'll head over here, and we have a required response. So key development staff, Matt Harmon is the technical chief, and Dirk de Beer is the head of Aero. We've got sponsor obligations. Sponsorship is a big source of income for all F1 teams. Funding is a two-way relationship. And when negotiating sponsorships at the start of the season, we need to offer certain obligations on our side, like creating merchandise, feature sponsors, or hosting sponsor events. Sponsor obligations that we're committed to, you'll be able to negotiate them yourself for next season. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that yet. Season kickoff party, yeah, approve that request. There we go. Make everybody happy. I would hazard a guess that in this game, morale is going to be very, very important. I'm not well versed in the legal world, unfortunately, or fortunately, but it could still be a fax they're sent over with. Well, you might have to. Well, you'd have to be in on the inside joke. But does Louis know what a fax machine is? Let's ask him that in the Slack chat later on. Let's find out if Louis knows what a fax machine is. So yeah, I play Football Manager quite a lot, probably too much, some would say. And yeah, if you've got players in your squad who are unhappy, they're going to drag the performance of the rest of the team down. But if everybody's happy, they're all pulling in the same direction and they start supporting the manager, your team can actually perform much, much higher than expected. You can have a team that's, you know, relegation fodder and has been promoted, but can suddenly finish like 6th in the Premier League because everybody's happy. Whereas, you know, you can have a team that's struggling, winning and losing every other week, and a few players who want to leave, and suddenly, you know, they find them, you know, Spurs find themselves relegated or something, which for me is absolutely hilarious because I'm not a Spurs fan. And for anyone who does know who I support, I won't be letting anyone else in on it. I'm wearing a France shirt today, which I thought was appropriate. So Ollie Caldwell's scouting has been completed. There are his early stats. Let's look at his profile. Performance. Growth potential of average. High aggression. Interesting. Right, let's move on. We had another email coming through. Race prep from Carol Luce. And then we go to race. And we set our performance targets. Let's reach Q2. That's a minimum. Let's do reach Q3. This one, performance guarantee, is an optional performance target that you can set yourself. Sponsors will reward you for achieving that target, but they'll reduce their contribution if you don't hit your own guarantee. Okay, so let's let's just start with that one to begin with, and head over to Bahrain. Really, really liking the quality of this game. It's just, the graphics are excellent. Although I did run it on my laptop last night. And bear in mind, I just bought myself a new PC, so a proper PC for the first time in years. And the game downloaded and loaded up within about 5 minutes. On my laptop, it took about an hour and a half. And then when I ran it, it looked like one of those glitchy F1 PlayStation games where wheels are missing and stuff like that. So yeah, it did not run effectively. So unfortunately I can't take it onto my laptop because the laptop just isn't powerful enough. But I've got this. This is working just fine. For a first effort with Frontier, it is absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to do practice 1, and then I'll simulate 2 and 3. And it's very reminiscent of Motorsport Manager, so let's just do a little bit of that, and a little bit of maybe this. No, yeah, that. Actually, Alpine like to run their cars skinny, so we're going to go with that. Anti-roll distribution. Going that way with it. No. Struggling for traction at the moment. Still struggling for traction. There we go. Right, let's, I don't know, start with that. For Fernando, run plan, 15 laps. Yeah, that's fine. Let's save, yeah. Car setup, so oversteer. So let's do this for Esteban. Cornering. Oh, cornering is terrible. Straights, yeah, straights isn't good. Let's do that. And then tyre camber. It's going to take a little bit of working out as to what affects what with the setup. Driving options. Yeah, I just leave them on standard pace mode in practice because then they're not pushing too hard and they've managed to get plenty of laps. So here we go.
Yeah, we can now. Radio check.
Loud and clear.
And green light.
It's brilliant that they've got the drivers' voices in there as well. That's excellent. Right, let's send Esteban out. Although it does have Fernando Alonso's number in the car. There we go, and then we'll send out Fernando 2. There's Esteban. On the nose cam, and this is how I like to run a practice session. So send them out, stick it in time 16 on the map, sit back and relax as we in practice in real life. Lewis Hamilton getting a kick of oversteer at La Source. Owen, what is your thoughts on the changes to Spa? They've put the gravel traps in. Hamilton's actually gone second fastest on mediums. Although Perez, Leclerc and Sainz are all on hards behind him. So currently Alonso 5th fastest, Ocon 7th fastest. It's so cool, this game. It's just, yeah. Words fail me, unfortunately. It's just such a good quality game, and I've not even got that far into it. Here we go.
How is the balance?
Very good. Happy.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think was the car ahead. Which I believe is an Aston Martin. It was. It might bring up a replay in a moment.
Okay, Esteban, balance update when you can. Balance update.
Right, so both drivers happy with the setup. That for a bunch of random clicking, that is pretty good, I'd say. Actually, I'm very pleased with that. So we'll just wait for them to finish their runs. Alonso is currently 6th fastest, Ocon is 9th, and we're back into the pit lane. So let's reconfigure. Traction is bad, so we need to improve the traction. Straights is... stick some. We might as well stick the mediums on, because what I've found is they eat up the soft tyres, and you end up almost stuck with soft tyres in qualifying. So we'll go with mediums for this run, and then hopefully they won't use a Gillian. Soft tyres, so let's confirm that. Let's reconfigure Alonso. He's very happy with his setup, so we'll just send him out on a set of hards. And we will Just send him out, basically 30 laps. Actually, let's. Okay, the tyre won't do that many laps. Let's do 30 laps. See how he gets on with that. Hit play, we'll reconfigure, and we'll send them out. Right now, there we go. So Alonso's just going to go out for half an hour and do as many laps as possible. Just waiting for Esteban to reconfigure. And off he goes as well. The yellow flag there. Doesn't bring up the replays in practice quite so much. So unless you spot who it is causing a yellow flag, don't actually get treated to it, which I suppose is fine because you would be there forever just looking at the replays. I'm just going to think I've had a missed call, yeah, from my wife. Now I'm using my phone as the camera, so she can't get hold of me at the moment. I'm otherwise engaged. The game seems a little bit loud in comparison to your voice. Most of the music. Okay, that's fine. What we can do then is bring the master volume down to let's try 70. Thanks for the feedback there, Owen. That's very helpful. Very kind of you to do that. Much appreciated. So how's that for a change? Let's see. Let's jump on board. Esteban, it's in a train of cars. You see a train, you assume Alonso in the front. There is a blue car in front. It looks like it's Alonso. Seven or eight cars in this queue. 1, 2, 3. Behind Ocon is a McLaren, and there's a Mercedes and a Ferrari, who seem to be battling each other even though it's practice. Brilliant. In the real world, Alex Albon has actually just gone second fastest in P1. Alright, so let's quickly run through to the end of this session.
Okay, any comments on balance?
Just double check on the balance, yeah. Esteban's happy with the balance now. And we'll just run through to the end of the session. So we've got Verstappen, Leclerc, a yellow flag there, I'm not sure who that was. Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Bottas, Russell, Alonso, Gasly, Magnussen, Norris, Zhou, Ocon, Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Ricciardo, Vettel, Albon, Stroll and Latifi. So let's just check. Esteban, he's still not happy with the traction, so we're going to have to do something about traction, but I'll let the simulated sessions deal with that. Albon is flying in the real world. Russell jumps up to
Alright,
third.
buddy, good job once again. See you in the office shortly.
Okay. Albon's just set the fastest first sector at Spa. Okay, the track shots. So let's audio, car engine volume. Yeah, let's do that. Team radio. Turn that down a little bit. Sound effects. UI. Let's just turn everything down a little bit. Music volume. Turn that down a little bit too. And, look at that. This whole game is just all about setup, isn't it? You've got to set up your music and your display. And you've got to set up the cars as well. So 8th fastest and 13th fastest. Alonso completing a whopping 36 laps. So setup confidence 60%, 81% for Fernando. So we'll go here, continue, go to practice 2. In fact, what we'll do is we'll put Esteban on hard tyres to start with, Fernando on mediums, And then we'll just simulate qualifying. Voila! That's completed. And let's do some qualifying. So, practice 3, we were 10th and 11th fastest. We have an 87% and 80% setup confidence. That's really positive. Anything above 80 and your drivers are really starting to tap into the potential of the car, I've found. Okay, so let's start qualifying. Manage qualifying 1, yes.
Can we do a quick radio check?
So we've got 3 sets of
I think it's okay.
soft tyre for Fernando. So hopefully we can get through in this first session without having to use a second set. So what we'll do is we'll just let a few cars go first, and we'll send Fernando out now and Esteban out just after. Okay, so you can manually control it, but I'm choosing to just let them do their thing. And we'll whiz forward and we'll ride on board with Fernando as he starts his lap. Let's go there. Brilliant. We are right up the chuff of a Red Bull. So let's ride on board with Fernando Alonso. We should get a nice slipstream here, he says. There's a yellow flag in Sector 1 in Belgium. Not sure quite what's caused that. But Alonso through the first sequence of corners. There's a car stopped on track. It's a Haas of, looks like Magnussen. So we can keep an eye on the drivers. A red flag in practice 1. So Alonso with a personal best in the first sector. Ocon as well. We can actually have a look at their sector times here. Alonso marginally ahead of the Frenchman. And am I in trouble? We're about to find out. Because I missed the phone call. I'm using my phone as the camera. I am streaming. I have 2 people watching me. So Alonso coming to the end of this lap. Let's see where this puts him at the moment. We've got 5 times on the board. Albon 2.3 seconds adrift, 2.4 seconds now as Sainz goes fastest. Alonso 3rd fastest, almost a second off the pace. What about Ocon here? We join him as he crosses the line. Loving all the different camera angles. It's really so cool. And Ocon is about 3/10 behind Fernando. Hopefully that's enough to get us through into Q2. So let's fast forward. Joe locked up at turn 13. We've got still Alonso up in P4. Still a few drivers to set some meaningful lap times. Bottas is rapid in the opening rounds. He tends to be pretty quick. There you go, straight up to 4th place. Alonso still P5 though. If we just have a look at what's going to happen. So Schumacher has to make up nearly 7/10 of a second to knock Esteban out of Q1. So I'm going to take the risk. We're going to. This could be a Ferrari blunder strategy, or it could be a a real masterclass. We're going to leave it in time 16 and we're just going to run straight through to the end of qualifying because I don't think anyone can knock us out. The two Mercedes will go a bit quicker, but I don't think of Schumacher's pace he's going to be that useful. Production value of the game looks really high.
Copy that. Nice job, mate.
Really feels like a broadcast. Sometimes the cars look a bit jerky and unnatural turning in, but every game struggles with that. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Sometimes the way that the cars move on track is a little bit clunky as we get through to Q2 with fairly minimal scares there. We were actually through by almost half a second from Mick Schumacher, who delivered a 32.8. So yeah, there's more to come from our boys. Yeah, I think it's a really well put together game because if you think about the amount of depth that is in every facet of what they've put together at Frontier. So you've got all the setups, you've got the flying lap strategies, you can add cooldown laps, which is just, you know, it's brilliant. And it's the sort of things you think, okay, they're the small details that put these games together that make it so lifelike. You know, if you play the Formula One game on like the PlayStation F1 2022, which I haven't played, but I've played the previous iterations, but to carry the extra fuel and you can't simulate a cooldown lap properly. So it's just one of those things. It's too sequential. This one I think is much more of a spider web in terms of what you can do, and there's so many different avenues in which you can take it. And I think, you know, if I did a save with Alpine and someone else did a save with Alpine, even after race one, the picture could look very different because there are so many different things you can choose to develop first and last in order to do things and how much you do things. So let's dive into Q2. And of course then it comes down to your actual management skills. So if I sent both cars out right, and if I hit pause and click send out and then hit play again, they'd go out nose to tail. There's no like spacing, so you can't do that because otherwise they just run around nose to tail. But what we will do is send Fernando out now.
And another radio check.
And
Radio check, okay? Radio check.
now we'll send Esteban.
Green light.
And we'll just whiz them round. I think this time we will ride on board at double speed with Ocon. And the graphics of the circuits as well, the detail they put in there, you can see just on the right hand side, like on the outside there, the palm trees. You know, it just looks so real, and they simulated the dirt on the screen of the cameras, which there's so much detail in this game. It's absolutely brilliant. It's a very high entry level, and you know where they take it from here from say like if it's an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10 game. You know, it's going to be a bit tricky to build on this, but there's still lots that they can put into it. You know, there's so much they can do. So Ocon this time around only 0.195 off of Fernando. Ricciardo half a second down. Hamilton 9/10. Traffic in this game is a absolute disaster because if you get stuck behind someone, you get caught out. The AI, they're, like we were saying about the clunkiness of the AI, they're not very smart at getting out of the way. Now this time we will send Ocon out a second time. We'll also send Alonso out a second time as well because, well, we should. So condition 89%, so we can always use a set of tyres again in Q3 because we'll get the extra set here for Q3. So we'll just reconfigure both cars there. That's all you need to do. Total 4 clicks. And then we are going to send Alonso now and then Ocon, and then hopefully everyone else will follow us out. Lovely jubbly. If you can get to the head of the queue, you can make sure that there's no traffic. So we'll follow Alonso this time around. And then here you can also just keep an eye on them. The timing splits, so Fernando with a personal best, Ocon not improving. That's not good. We've got a crane on track removing Magnussen's Haas. I think that could be a lengthy delay. What is Alonso's middle sector like? It is not a personal best. What about Esteban? Has he improved? Yes. So we've got a green and a yellow each. Fernando Alonso stays 6th fastest. He does improve his time. Ocon currently 8th. Norris has already crossed the line in 11th and is out. Verstappen's actually down in 10th. Hamilton is 14th. We've got a real chance to get both cars into Q3 here. Ocon stays 8th, improves his time slightly, bumped down to 9th. We are in trouble here with Ocon. I think we might end up maybe P11. We're now on the bubble. Hamilton can go faster. Ricciardo could go faster. Where is Hamilton? Here he is. Final sector. He's done 2 greens. I think Hamilton is about to knock us out. Well, in fact, Zhou has knocked us out. Ocon is out. He will start 12th because Hamilton leaps up to 5th. But Alonso has made it through in 9th. But that would have just been the track ramping up with grip, I would suppose, as the session came to a conclusion. But we do have a car into Q3. Ocon eliminated in Q2. But that's fine. We didn't expect to get both cars into Q3. Right, let's jump into Q3 then. Manage qualifying, confirm. Reconfigure. Let's start with... Oh, they give us an extra set of that. That's the fresh set. So what we'll do is use this set that we've just done that lap on.
Radio check. Yeah, radio check.
There we go. And we'll send Fernando out now. We'll just do a lap on there. It's not going to be anything special. And we'll see where we end up. Probably slowest. Zhou's done a 32.5. Alonso, well, we've gone half a second off of Perez. Leclerc smashing it there. So actually we're P5 on that banker run. And now we've got a fresh set of tyres. Car setup. He's very happy with the setup. That's good. Run plan. It's the lowest amount of fuel we can put in. So we'll just do that. And then what we'll do is we'll wait. You can get around with about 2 minutes 20 left. So we'll send Alonso out now. And we'll have clear track. Alright. Let's follow the lap. And see how we do. So we're currently P5. I think anything above 8th. Well, we should be aiming to be 8th.
Good session, well done.
Okay, thanks for slowing it down there. Not a personal best sector 1 though. It's a really weird thing. You put on this set of tyres that says it's 100%, but they don't improve. Bottas goes 5th fastest. Verstappen goes fastest. Leclerc beats that by a quarter of a tenth. We are now down to 8th position. Zhou can only manage 10th. Gasly goes 8th. We've improved in the middle sector. So we're looking for P8. Can Fernando deliver? He can. He can deliver, and we will start 8th and 12th for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc on pole position, 30.971 there. Not so bad for old Charlie boy. Mercedes 6th and 7th. There you go. Valtteri Bottas is just on one in the Alfa Romeo. The Alfa Romeo is very strong at the start of the season, and Bottas in this game is just annoyingly quick. He just gets in there between the top two and Mercedes every single time. We'll move on to the race now. So yeah, we'll skip this little cutscene. Have a little drink, because unlike Kimmy, I will have the drink. And now this is the juicy bit. So with Fernando, we are going to, well, we could start on softs. We can start on mediums. I think this is probably the best strategy. A soft, medium, soft is pretty useful. And then with Esteban, what I'm actually going to do is so we'll edit this one. So we'll start him on, not on inters. Can we start him on? Has he not got? Oh, hang on. There you go. We're not going to inters, don't worry. We'll go hard to medium. And we'll do 30 laps on the hards. And then bring ourselves into play. Oh, damn. Didn't save it. You have to click update at the bottom. Let's get rid of that. Car's back out on track in Spa. They've removed the Haas. Let's update the strategy and then select it. Risk of a shower apparently in Belgium. So that is the strategy side of things taken care of. Fernando starting on the softs. Esteban starting on the hards. He'll probably lose some places early on. We need to do the driver options. We'll do deploy. The same here. Alright, let's start the race. Don't get why those cones are there, because they don't have them there in reality. What would be really cool as well, if a team has like an alternative livery, you can flick between them from race to race, because obviously Alpine started the year all in pink for the first 2 rounds, and then they've reverted to the blue-pink that we have here. We've got 5 red lights ready for the race in Bahrain, and go! How's our start? Not great. Alonso's losing ground. Hasn't lost the position yet. What about Ocon? Dart round Ocon, then we're back. It's very slow all of a sudden. Alright, so we've held position, and Alonso's actually attacking George Russell. Speed this up a little bit. That looks a bit more Formula One, doesn't it? A bit quicker. So we are hounding George Russell with Fernando Alonso. What is Esteban up to? He is stuck behind the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, looking for the overtake. And here he goes, Esteban Ocon up the inside into turn 13. Nope, that's turn 11, sorry. Up to 11th. Lovely job, well done Esteban, nice work. AI designed to go through one by one, yes. That looks very much the case. Oh, we have a slow-moving Red Bull. Oh no, it's picking up the pace again. Alonso overtakes... Oh no, there's a crash! So Alonso's overtaken George Russell into the final corner. And we've got a safety car. Safety car.
Safety car.
Okay.
Stick to Delta, no overtaking.
Have we got damage? Let's just check. Condition. No damage. Okay. So this plays very nicely. We'll just go and conserve everything. Harvest, harvest. Okay, so yeah, Gasly is out. Hopefully if they put like a highlights.
Maybe drop back a little
together.
bit, please.
So we'll just
Okay,
speed
copy.
this up. So Gasly's out the race. Zhou is last. He pitted. This is fully charged. Lovely. Oh, we've got rain in Belgium. Actual rain.
Safety cars in this lap. Safety car
Okay,
in
safety
this
car
lap.
in this lap.
Copy.
So we're going to turn everything up. Deploy and deploy. And let's watch the restart. So we are currently 9th and 7th. So that little collision has really helped us. Both our cars jerking out of the queue. Right,
Copy.
here we go.
Just a
Right
reminder,
there
no
with
taking
the
until the control
Mercedes.
line.
And here we go. Green flag
Okay,
once
copy.
again. And we're racing. Alonso challenging Hamilton. Yeah, they're definitely designed to go through one at a time, aren't they? And Alonso and Hamilton going into battle. Oh! We're through! Lovely job. Get in. Although we have lost a place to Ocon, so with Ocon, so that's not so good. Okay, now we're challenging Bottas. We're up the inside. Is Alonso going into 5th place? Oh, it's mighty close, but he's made it. Lovely stuff, Fernando. Well done to the Spaniard. Ocon will turn him down to neutral. And we'll look after the tyres. We're actually on the back of Sergio Perez here. With Fernando Alonso. This is... Well, I didn't expect us to be challenging for a potential podium. We've gapped Bottas, who's holding up the Mercedes cars. We've got a yellow flag. Tsunoda spinning. Yuki Tsunoda. Whoa, yeah. And this is probably some of the bits that can be refined. It seems the car performance for this stage is relatively accurate. Just, yeah, they do need a little bit of work in terms of the smoothness of racecraft. We're just dropping back from Perez, so we'll start harvesting some energy.
DRS enabled.
DRS is now enabled. We've got actual spray in Spa. We'll harvest as well with Ocon.
See if we can focus on recharge, please. Copy.
Where is Esteban? He is still in 9th, but he's got Magnussen right on his tail. So we'll just keep him in neutral.
We
Actually.
need recharge off.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Magnussen about to go past with the DRS, which is supremely powerful. Look at that. So we'll just speed things up a wee bit. Sainz is leading from Leclerc. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Hamilton has just overtaken Alonso for 5th place. So here comes the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, returning the favour from earlier on. That was Ocon up the inside in the background. Did he get through? He did. He did get through. Excellent stuff. So Ocon up into, or down into 10th. Now we're back up into 9th. Back down to 10th. It just the cars just yo-yo. Alonso's down to 7th. Bottas has passed Alonso and Hamilton. Back down to 10th. We've got a 2.5 second gap back to Ricciardo. Alonso now 8th. We do need to attack on the tyres. If you're not attacking on the tyres, then there was a yellow flag there. Who was that? Hamilton ran wide. Did we gain a position? No, because George Russell has got past us as well. I mean, this is a cool thing. There's a guy there wearing a Hamilton helmet. Yeah, pouring with rain in Belgium. We've got the 2 McLarens out, Tsunoda's out, Alonso's on track as well. Leclerc's taken the checkered flag. So we are in 9th and 7th. Hamilton is pitting. So we've just gained a spot there. Ocon now up to 8th. Good stuff. Bottas is a little ways up the road with... Oh, actually, Alonso's with them, isn't he? So Ocon needs to close the gap. He's got 10 laps. It says he's got 10 laps extra fuel. Let's push. Let's push with Ocon. See if we can close that gap a bit. We need to be aggressive on the tyres. See if we can... Oh, we've lost the place to Magnussen. Excellent. Although we're about to regain it. I think, well, Magnussen is actually on the soft tyre, so yeah, that obviously explains a lot. Alonso's pit window is active, so you see this little blue bar here. So that green bit where my mouse is, when the little white needle gets to there, it's the optimal point. Oh, Alonso's in harvest mode.
Recharge off.
But he's been in the tow anyway, so it's fine.
Nicely done.
Ocon has now regained that position. Let's attack.
Alright, let's push. Copy.
Actually, no, let's...
Lift and coast
leave
required.
it on aggressive.
Yeah.
We can always work that out a little bit later. Yeah, and Magnussen has gone through. So we've got Bottas, Russell in the pits. Hamilton, of course, stopped earlier. We're now running 5th and 6th, 5th and 7th.
It will be difficult to recover the front.
Okay. So Alonso will do
understood.
one more lap with him.
So what do you want, Joe? Would you want box?
Okay. So we'll go here. And we'll pit for the mediums. Pit this lap. And give it everything you've got. All of your talent. That's what we need, Fernando. Where is he? There he is. He's actually now running in 3rd position. We've got a yellow in Sector 2, which has gone. Alonso has gone through the pits. Stroll locked up at turn 7. What's Ocon up to? He's now 2nd in the race behind Max Verstappen. Now we've got the Ferraris around him as well. So let's go to
DRS
standard.
is disabled.
Copy.
Let's go to harvest on Alonso. I forgot to turn that down. We've got to go to standard and balanced. So much you have to do to manage the race. Ocon is being challenged by Leclerc and not yet passed by Leclerc. He's actually got DRS from Verstappen. He's hanging with the race leaders here, Ocon. He's still there. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. I think that was probably Stroll again. Bringing Alonso back to neutral. Now Leclerc has gone past both of us. He's gone past Ocon and Verstappen. We're hanging in there with Verstappen. We're actually picking up the DRS from the Red Bull, which is pretty helpful. Sainz just behind. Dropped off the back of Verstappen now. Just ahead of Sainz. We've got nearly 8 seconds back to Perez, so we don't really need to fight Ferrari. Where is Alonso? He is 6th after his stop. He's actually got ahead of Hamilton again. So we've actually done pretty well there. Hamilton must have got stuck in a load of traffic. And now he's got Joe and Russell around him. Bottas is 11th. He's fallen well down the order. Maybe he had a bit of damage. So what tyres is everybody on at the moment? So Sainz is on hards. He's just got ahead of Ocon. But that's fine. Esteban's doing absolutely fine. He's got 50% tyres left. Alonso is in 6th with 83% of his mediums left, and he'll have to come in again around lap 50. Esteban will come in around lap 30, lap 33 maybe. So let's deal with this. Ocon is picking up the DRS again from Sainz. That's what's keeping him up the order, is the fact that he's constantly got DRS off of these lead runners, and somehow is able to hang with them. Look, he's just sticking with the Ferrari. We're actually only 5 seconds off the lead, although that is increasing, which is understandable. Still got DRS. What is Alonso up to? He is 9, 8. Well, he's actually catching Perez. Perez has really got no pace. Let's have a look here. That's the strategy. So yeah, we're actually on course. We could actually be going a bit more aggressive with Ocon. We're going to be able to extend it a little bit. Let's have a look at the lap times. Last lap time for Perez was a 37.9. Well, actually, Perez was a second faster the lap time. Right. Oh, we've got a spin. Who's gone off in sector 3?
Yellow way up, yellow way up.
That's Guan Yu Zhou.
Copy.
Spinning at the final corner in battle with George Russell. Yeah, I'm not sure that Russell would have really avoided that. He'd have had to go around the other side. But that's the programming for you. That's fine. This is the first attempt at a game. It's not going to be perfect, is it? We shouldn't have expected that. But let's rattle things along. Ocon still hanging with Sainz, just a few tenths behind him. I'll just slow it down a little bit. You can see there he is, just on the tail of Sainz, doing a brilliant job. We've entered the pit window, so he'll be coming in a couple of laps. There he is, still on the tail of Sainz. We're only actually sort of 7-8 seconds off the lead. Perez closing in, Hamilton closing on Alonso. Alonso's dropped back from Perez. So this strategy is coming together quite nicely. We might actually be able to beat both the Mercedes. What do you think? Can we get a 5th and a 6th on the opening race? That would be some achievement. Ocon's still there, just hassling Sainz. Sainz must wish he'd go away, like this annoying fly. Okay, so we will attack there, and we will push. We won't deploy yet, so we'll use the tyres. We might be able to get to lap 31 here and pit Esteban a lap later, so you'll have a little bit fresher. You won't have quite as far to go on that final set of mediums. Alonso, he'll come in lap 40. Sorry, not lap 50, lap 40. We'll ignore that for now. We've got DRS. We're chasing Carlos Sainz. In fact, we will bring him in this lap. We will deploy. We will bring him in this lap. To the mediums. Brand new. Hit this lap. Lovely stuff. Yeah, we're just still hanging in there. And we'll come out somewhere around the Mercedes, but with much fresher tyres, and they are on the hards. So we should have the tyres to really go at the two Mercedes cars. We should just pop out, I think, around Russell and Bottas. In fact, we're going for third place with Esteban. He's living his best life right now, chasing the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. We're actually going down the inside into final corner. No, can't quite make it stick. But into the pit lane comes Esteban Ocon. Yeah, we'll keep the track position. And we'll get the Mercedes on the track. But if they pit, we'll have the track position, yeah. So we'll come... In fact, Esteban Ocon has come out ahead of Fernando Alonso. Okay, so we'll be aggressive on the tyres. We won't push it. I don't understand this. I think this is a glitch. The fuel is odd. You've got 55 kilograms of fuel here with Esteban, who's got plus 4.8 laps. I'm not sure what that sign means. I'm assuming that means how much you've got more than you need. That was very loud out there. And then Alonso here with a kilo less, plus 2 laps. Go figure. Anyway, let's... well, we can have team orders, but I think Ocon's just going to pull away here. He is. He's just pulling away from Fernando. We've absolutely pulled a strategy masterclass with Esteban Ocon. We've got to be able to push a little bit early on the tyres, and we'll build a gap to the Mercedes. Alonso is now playing rear gunner. Verstappen takes the lead just up the top. It was a low amount of pit stop lost time. I mean, even less because I was running it in double speed. So who went off? It was Bottas, who's locked up at turn 10. That's helpful for us. Look at the scrap here. And off goes Bottas. Look, that annoys me because if it's your car, you stop and you lose like 6 positions. I had it happen with Russell yesterday in Saudi Arabia. He made a mistake, stopped on the edge of the track. Yeah. Alright, so we are 5th and 6th, ahead of the 2 Mercedes. Alonso still has another stop to make. Could actually put him on another set of mediums and bring him in now. Although he'd probably lose a lot. So what we'll do is we'll attack. We will attack now. If he starts closing the gap to Ocon, we'll just tell Ocon not to fight him. But I think Ocon's got enough. Yeah, it is really silly for that small a mistake for him to go and completely stop. Alonso not really closing the gap. He has got much older tyres, so that's understandable. But if he can get DRS, they'd probably start squabbling and losing time. But if it just sits in the toe, that's fine. What's the gap like to Hamilton? It's just steadily increasing. It's now 3 seconds. It's 6.5 to Russell, and then 12.5 to Magnussen. So when we pit Alonso, he'll probably come out just behind Bottas. If we look at their tyres, they're all on hards. Zhou will probably stop again. He's not making it to the end with 33% left. So yeah, I think we're looking all right actually. Let's do the Banzai now. Let's go for it, and we'll tell Ocon, don't fight the teammate because he's coming in. Pit window in 4 laps. Pit options. Let's change the strategy. Alright. Let's do that. Oh, that's absolutely awful driving. There we go. Now we'll take that off, and Alonso is merrily on his way. I mean, the thing is, you notice when you attack, you do take life out of the tyres, but you don't. Has anyone told him they're worn? Yeah, Alonso doing Alonso things on those tyres. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the point I'm just about to make, is the fact you've got it on aggressive, and we're only down to 88. You can really attack on these tyres. You don't take that much out of them when you're in attack. So Alonso will come out 10th, 11th, yeah, just behind Bottas and ahead of Lando Norris. But we can now go absolute attack mode until the end. The two Alphas are fighting each other up ahead. Ocon is 5th, 2.5 seconds ahead of Hamilton. That's the tyre differential. Hamilton on much older, hard tyres. Where have we seen that before? So yeah, I think if we attack with Ocon, we've still got 20 laps to go. We need to harvest energy. Probably harvest some energy there as well. We'll take that down to standard. We'll take that down to aggressive and balanced. That should push on the fuel with Esteban to keep some pace there. Got a yellow in sector 3. That might have been one of the Aston Martins, I think, by the track map, which I think you can't see because my face is over it. Sonoda, in fact, running wide at turn 14. Quite happy with how this strategy is panning out. Doing a very neat and tidy job. The boys in blue. Oh, here we go. Right, this is the fight. Alonso up behind Guan Yu Zhou. And we're darting and we're diving. Now we have the DRS. And can he make it stick? On the brakes. It's close. We'll have the inside line, but Zhou, I think, will... Oh, no, we've got the DRS off of Bottas, perhaps. And we keep 10th place. So we can go after Valtteri Bottas. Alonso overtakes Zhou Guanyu. Excellent stuff. Should be like a little button so you can like congratulate them. Well, I suppose the engineer does that. So yeah, DRS again now, chasing Valtteri Bottas, and then we've got a little gap up to Magnussen. Easy peasy round the outside there. Fernando Alonso with a beautiful move. And next on the hit list is Kevin Magnussen, and then it's the two Mercedes, if we can catch them. With 19 laps to go. Just managing Ocon a little bit. He's now only a second ahead. That's because we were in harvest mode, so we dropped a little bit of ground to Hamilton.
Recharge off. Come in.
Alonso, let's just check in with him. He's catching Magnussen. Bottas a second behind. There's the Haas car. The lead at the front, that's absolutely a ding-dong. Look at this. Verstappen got the DRS. Can't make it stick though. Let's go back to our boys. Alonso and Ocon. What is Ocon up to? He's extended the gap there. Pushing the fuel a little bit. Just edged a couple of tenths on Hamilton that time around. Magnussen into the pit lane. So that makes our life a little bit easier. Zhou and Norris in 2. Bottas has the DRS. There are 17 laps to go. So Bottas, he'll be stopping again for softs at the end of the race. Verstappen into the pits. And Bottas, I think, is going to go and repay the favour down the outside. Easy pass there. Hamilton 1.5 behind Ocon still, who's doing a really, really neat and tidy job there. to keep the Mercedes outside the DRS range. Let's just bring Alonso down to standard. And he's actually got back past Valtteri Bottas with the DRS into turn 1, but Bottas returns the favour into turn 4. What a ding-dong battle this is. Ocon just there. P5. Excellent drive from Ocon. I mean, knocked out in Q2 and then you just play the long game. It seems to come towards you. Alonso. And it's the sort of strategy you can employ as he takes Bottas around the outside again. I suppose this is sort of a realistic strategy. You just ask Alonso to just go for it, be attacking and just make overtakes and use all of his talent. Whereas Ocon just quietly gets on with things, and Bottas putting up more of a fight than we're used to seeing from the Finn here. I think he's made more overtakes in this Alfa Romeo in this stream than he ever did in a Mercedes. Ocon does seem to be having the kind of race he has in real life. Yeah, exactly. This is, you know, Ocon just ends up like 6th, 7th. And no one seems to know how he's got there. Whereas with Alonso, he's always on the team radio. He's always doing something that gets him on the telly. We've retaken Bottas, but we're yo-yoing. Look, here we go again. Bottas down the outside. And we're not going to catch the Mercedes doing this. Although Bottas may... Will Bottas have to stop again? I don't know. What do you think, Owen? Will Bottas stop again? 37%? Two Mercedes are on 33 and 40. Ocon just hanging out there on 66. Alonso retakes the place. Hamilton does pit. So they're going to come out on soft tyres. Bottas pits as well. We've got a yellow in sector 1. Who is that for? Surely that's George Russell. Oh, it's Verstappen. He spins. And through goes Leclerc. It's a change for the lead. Okay, so Alonso, let's just take stock of where we are. Alonso has 74% left with 14 laps to go. Ocon 64% left. Everybody behind us is on soft tyres, I'm guessing. Yeah, Hamilton on soft. Magnussen on mediums. These guys will probably all end up coming out on soft as well. We're looking pretty well set for points. Yeah. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. Let's move this along a little bit. We had another yellow flag there. Who was that? A lock up for Zhou. Russell's still hanging out there on the hard tyres. He'll be coming in shortly for softs. There he is, right on cue. He comes out behind Hamilton. So it's a straight fight between us, Alpine, and the Mercedes cars. Mercedes are 7th and 8th on fresh, soft tyres. We are 5th and 6th. But we are, well, with Ocon, we are some 20 seconds ahead of Hamilton. So I don't think even Lewis Hamilton can make up 20 seconds in this Mercedes. So I think we're fairly safe with Ocon in 5th. We're only 4 seconds ahead in 6th with Fernando. So Alonso is obviously in danger. But I think we could... let's hold on for now. Another yellow flag there. Sainz running wide this time. The top runners making mistakes. Now Hamilton is just outside the DRS window of Alonso, and look, he's just taking chunks out of him. I think this is a fight that we just don't have the right weapons for. I mean, we could up the pace. I mean, might as well do that. Use the tyres. Ocon 48%. We'll just manage everything. Hamilton now coming at us. There's no point fighting. There's no point. We'll just let him go, because otherwise we're going to ruin our tyres. Alonso's still in harvest mode. That would also explain. So it's so many things you have to think about. Ocon is just very happily out there. He's 17 seconds clear of Hamilton now. He's got nothing to worry him. Alonso, he'll still be in the DRS window of Hamilton here. So Alonso's actually just going to disrupt Hamilton, because once you stay, it's like with the F1 game. If you can stay in the DRS zone, you can just go along with the train. And you see here how even on older tyres, Alonso's able to annoy Hamilton in the only way Alonso can. %, and 44% on the tyres. And we're going up the inside here. We're going to take this position back. Beautiful move. But then Hamilton's just going to take it straight back. Maybe even down to the final corner. No, he'll pick up the DRS. Alonso pushing him out as far as he can, but this is a done deal. And Hamilton smartly waiting for the second DRS zone here up into turn 4. Unless he's just not got the speed. He's going around the outside. There you go. That's an overtake. And 6 laps to go. We're just going to go light on the tyres with Ocon. We've got a 16-second cushion. We could even conserve them, I think. We'll just conserve them and we'll look after everything. Alonso takes 6th place back. Yeah, the pause function is very important. But once you've got, I mean, I completely agree with you, Owen. Once the first time, there was a lot to take in. It was all happening. You're trying to look at everything, and obviously because I'm trying to interact with you guys and tell you what's going on, I keep forgetting things. But that I think that's normal. I think even if I was just playing on my own, it would be. Oh, Perez has run wide. Another mistake from one of the top 4 guys. Small, there you go, running wide at turn 9. Just everyone else has done that. Back to the real action. Alonso versus Hamilton. It's like 2007 all over again. There we go. Back round the outside. Hamilton trying to sneak back up the inside. We're actually closing on Esteban, but nothing to worry about. Are we going to get out of DRS range here? We could. Just going to bring Ocon back up to light. No, we're going to lose the position again. But unless Ocon fails to finish, we're going to have at least one car ahead of both Mercedes, which I wasn't expecting. That is much more than I was expecting. I was expecting maybe a 7th, 8th with one car. Hamilton coming back up the inside again. There we go. And, well, we'll just pick up the DRS again. And we can stay with this until the end of the race. We're going nearly an hour and a half on the stream. I've got 40% phone battery left. So we will just be doing this race today, but I'll come back another time soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Of course, if you're following, which you are, of course, Owen, you'll get notified when I go live. Alonso back in front. We're only 10 seconds behind Ocon now, who's just babysitting his tyres to the end. Let's see. He's lapping cars. He's lapping the Aston Martins. Hamilton back in front. I mean, we could quite quick. It's all going to come down to who's the second car on that final straight on the final lap, which I think could be. Well, if it's not going to be us this time. There's Ocon. There he is. Just conserve those tyres. We've got 8 seconds. Yeah, Hamilton. So what we need to do actually is we need to stay behind here. We need to get the DRS and then harvest so we don't go in front. Front? No. So now we can do that.
Recharge off.
And we can turn the tables.
Okay,
and hopefully we can now be overtaken on the main straight and then re-overtake on the back straight. Leclerc starting his final lap. We've got a 7.5 second lead
Lost quite a lot of
Uh,
over
grip
Verstappen.
on that lap.
Ocon has lost grip, but he's
Understood.
he's up the front there.
What do we do?
He's closing in. Alonso now takes 6th place, so this is the plan. This is our plan. Be overtaken on the pit straight, re-overtake on the back straight, and steal 6th place from Lewis Hamilton. So it's fine if he overtakes us here. So Ocon is now on his final lap. We'll deploy, and we'll be aggressive on the tyres. And we'll push. And we'll do the same with Alonso. But we don't want to overtake here. Okay. Perfect. So now we are positioned to take position on the final lap. Charles Leclerc wins the race. We've got a yellow flag, but we're beyond sector 1, so we're fine. Alonso taking the position already. Who's got DRS? We have. So we've done it. We've got 6th place. We've got 5th. Oh no! We haven't. Ocon has just spun. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. Esteban Ocon has spun on the final lap. Oh, he's 7th. So Alonso is going to finish 5th. Ocon might finish 8th. He's got Russell just behind him. We did have him on attack, to be fair. That was a boo-boo. That was an error. I've come to regret that decision. But anyway, Fernando Alonso, P5. Esteban Ocon holds on for P7, which, you know, from 12th on the grid, that's a relatively good performance, I think.
It was a good weekend.
I'm absolutely gutted about that spin, Owen. We were no sooner the words come out of my mouth. We've got 5th and 6th, and I look down and there it says, I've spun. Unbelievable.
Job,
Pretty pleased with that. Fantastic. See you then.
All right. Skip that. They just launched the headrest out of the car. It's like, I don't need this anymore. Get me out of here. All right, so let's have a look at the constructors. We edged Mercedes 4 points in the constructors. We're actually P3, which, yeah, our obvious rivals are Alfa Romeo and McLaren, and between them they scored a single point. So a very pleasing first weekend. Alonso I mean, to be fair, he did qualify higher, and then we put him on. Well, it said it was the best strategy, but then we put Ocon on the hards. We could have done the same with Alonso, actually. Did think about it. But yeah, excellent. That was a really, really good weekend, and this guy. I mean, maybe his photo was a hint of he's not happy here. He's not smiling. Hint of a smile for Ocon. Alonso's the grumpy old man. But brilliant. Really, really pleased with that. Driver bonuses. Oh, Alonso gets a bonus if he finishes 6th or higher. And so does Ocon. Well, Ocon saved us some money then. That spin has saved me some money. Alright, let's continue. And we will come back another time for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Thank you so much, Owen, for sticking with me in the chat, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope if you haven't already bought the game, I hope it's convinced you to buy it, or if I don't know what PC you've got. I mean, you are an engineer. I mean, perhaps you have the skills to build one. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for sticking with me. A really good way to kick off the season and the save. Let's make sure we hit save. There we go. New save. There we go. Beautiful. Right, let's quit to the main menu. There we go. Alright. Glad you enjoyed it, Owen. I'll catch up with you at some point soon on the Grid Talk podcast. If you are watching this retrospectively and you don't know about the Grid Talk podcast, find it on YouTube, F1 Grid Talk podcast, I believe. Just search that. Or on f1chronicle.com. You can find my podcast, the 5 Red Lights podcast, on YouTube and on all good podcast platforms. All the links are down below in the social section. You can find me on Twitter at AaronHarper41 and 5_red_lights. And until next time, everybody, I'll see you when 5 Red Lights go out. Thanks for the stream, and see you.